Hi there, it's Grant here. In this video, I want to talk about the next huge opportunity in computing that's going to sort of really help AI go to the next level, and that is quantum computing. This is going to be massive, and not many people are really talking about it because it's not really mainstream like AI is. But here's the fact: quantum computing is needed in order to progress AI, because AI apps and AI learning models require insane amounts of computing power, and the computing power we have at the moment just isn't going to allow AI models and AI software to scale moving forward. And this is where quantum computing is coming in. And in this video, I'm going to share a really exciting, relatively small, specialized quantum computing stock. Now, just a little bit about me. I'm not like a stock or trading guru. I'm just like a regular guy trying to figure out all of the tech market in the moment. I'm just looking to grow my retirement fund, and I'm really excited about AI and now quantum computing. Now, I get a lot of my information. I do a lot of research, but I get a lot of my information because I've got sort of paid subscriptions in various financial newsletters, which really help me shortcut my research process. So a lot of this is brought to you from paid services, so I'm just sharing it with you guys. But if you guys want to try any of the services or service I use, I'll link to it down in the comment description below. Anyway, let's get on. So here's a little piece. This is from Louis Navellier, and he actually runs one of the services I use called Growth Investor. He's really bullish on IonQ. IonQ is a very, very specialized quantum computing company, and they're developing the cutting edge hardware, the chips and systems that's going to drive all of this forward. And Louis says here, the beauty of IonQ's technology is that it's designed to harness quantum technology in a way that makes quantum computing more reliable and scalable than we've ever seen before. And that's what he goes on to say. That's why I see IonQ in a position very similar to NVIDIA a few years back, providing the essential tech everybody else will need to keep up. And he says, here's the kicker: as IonQ refines and commercializes its solutions, we could see explosive growth for anyone who's in early. And IonQ is a relatively new company. I'm just going to go to a different screen. It was launched, in 2015. So it's a relatively new company, only about 10 years. Well, not new, it's big, 10 years. But yeah, it's right at the cutting edge of quantum computing. It's got a current market capitalization of 4.5 billion, which is peanuts, which is absolutely peanuts compared to the size of the quantum computing and AI market combined. I mean, with quantum computing and AI together, we're talking about a multi-trillion dollar industry. We're talking 20, 50 trillion, $100 trillion industry in the next 5 to 10 years. This is huge. Now, I'm not saying at all that IonQ is going to have a multi-trillion dollar market cap, but if we compare it to NVIDIA, which is the chip making giant, that has got a market capitalization of 2.9 trillion. So it absolutely dwarfs IonQ in terms of capitalization. It's many times bigger. So I'm not saying it will, but if IonQ even got half the size of NVIDIA in the next couple of years, wow, yeah, if IonQ got to say 1 trillion market cap, I mean, that is exponentially going to, well, you can do the maths. Yeah, 5. I'm just trying to work it out ahead. Yeah, I mean, that's I think that could be more. Well, it's more than a 50x. I mean, I'm not saying that is, but I'm just giving you an example of what is possible investing in these small companies. But Louis Navellier is really bullish about IonQ. I mean, in actual fact, there was the quantum computing bull run last year. This is quantum computing, or sorry, IonQ's stock chart. Sort of it was fairly steady around about $9, $10, and then end of last year it took off, and now it has come down. Actually, there's some really interesting news. I mean, this is obviously Nvidia, absolute Goliath. It's pretty steady. There's probably not going to be a huge amount of growth in Nvidia now. Well, there will be, but not to the same extent that IonQ's potential is, because IonQ is so much smaller. But here's an article from the Motley Fool. So IonQ's stock got thrashed on Thursday. You're probably thinking, well, that's not very good. Well, when the market is fearful, that is when you want to buy. So basically, the reason why IonQ's stock went down is because Nvidia is launching a quantum computing firm. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's not good, because, sort of Nvidia is the chip making giant. But, at the end of the day, IonQ is a specialized quantum computing company. They've already got the head start. They're making cutting edge, quantum computing chips at the size of postage stamps. So they've got a massive head start on Nvidia. Not to say Nvidia couldn't, once it gets going, wipe out IonQ, but IonQ got a bit of a shock because Nvidia is now entering the quantum computing realm. I think Louis, I don't think he sees this as a problem. If anything, IonQ could be quite an attractive stock to purchase, because in the future Nvidia could purchase and buy out IonQ. But the fact that let's have a look of where IonQ's price is at the moment. It's sat at $21.14. I mean, its original high I think its high was $51. I think that was 6th of January. So it's gone down. So this isn't financial advice, but just say you bought some stock in IonQ, and over the course of this year it went up to its old high on positive news, then that's a good little 2x on your money. But with such a tiny market capitalization, 4.5 billion compared to the likes of Nvidia, IonQ is one to watch, and IonQ is one of the trailblazers in quantum computing. And through 2025, you're going to hear a lot about quantum computing, and IonQ is perfectly positioned, to be one of the trailblazers, in this market. Don't get me wrong, Nvidia, it's an absolute monster. Nvidia is going to be entering the quantum computing game, but IonQ, is one of the market leaders in quantum computing. They're creating all of the chips and all of the hardware to run quantum computing. So it's got a head start. Exciting company. And it wouldn't surprise me, obviously, if IonQ continues to grow, Nvidia couldn't buy it out in the future for quite a nice takeover or buyout. This is one of the top quantum computing stocks to watch, and seeing the stock has fallen a lot this year, this is quite an interesting stock to look at, especially if you're interested in quantum computing. Very, very attractive stock. So you guys need to really keep an eye on quantum computing, and IonQ is one of the hottest quantum computing stocks out there. Now, as I said, I'm just like an armchair, stock warrior trying to just grow my retirement fund. I use various services in order to find my research and invest in high growth tech stocks such as AI and quantum computing. If you do want to join one of the services that I use, I'd highly recommend Louis Navellier's Growth Investor. You basically get all of his quantum, you get all of his stock alerts. You get Stock Grader, which grades stocks, his monthly newsletter, Growth Investor, his special report, The Quantum Revolution, Next Household Names in Tech, which is huge, and all of his other special reports. You can basically join. You can. I'll link to this down below. So if you want to have a read and maybe join, you can do. You can join for $99. Absolute bargain that locks your membership in for a year, and you get a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you can get your money back. But it's for $99. Get the cutting-edge research on AI and quantum stocks. This is the service I use. It's one of my favorite tech stock advisory services. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave in the comment description below. Anyway, that's what I've got for you. I hope you found the video useful and informative, and I will speak to you soon.